There's an awesome scalar sequence that we've all heard Jakey Lee play that has been the bane of many a guitar player's existence because of all the alternate picking and string crossing. Until now. Hello Weekend Wankers, and welcome to a new installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here's the good buddy Uncle Ben. As you guys and girls know, I'm a really big fan of any kind of sequenced scalar lick, like the one that Jakey Lee plays at the end of his tremendous Bark at the Moon solo. The concept behind the Bark at the Moon sequence is easy enough. Play a note in a scale, play the note below it, go back to the first note, and go up a scale note. So it's sort of a 4-note sequence. Then you go to the next note of the scale, go back a note, back to the note you started on, up to the next note in sequence. It's an easy enough pattern to understand, but picking through this while you're going across the strings can be a real nightmare. But what I'm here to show you today is that if there's a particular picking sequence that's really busting your chops, you can maybe rearrange those notes into a more linear fashion with less string changes to make it easier to accomplish. But before we get into it, let's hear it again at stepdad speed. And as always, you can find a complete tab for this week's lick on my Instagram page, so be sure to go over to BenEllerGuitars or search for the hashtag Weekend Wankshop, and you'll find the tab for this week's lick. Learn how to play it and upload a video of yourself ripping through it along with the hashtag Weekend Wankshop. Okay, so this is based around a B-flat Lydian scale, which sounds pretty expensive, but that is just merely a cousin of the F major scale or D minor scale, one or the other. It's just sort of a neighborhood of those, so it's not really that crazy. Now, the original way to play this sequence, the way that Jake plays it and the way I see most other people play it, is to put the notes of that into a more vertical box like this. Like that. And the thing is that does make it a little easier for this hand because it's just staying right here and staying pretty vertical. But the problem comes with the picking, because if you're alternate picking through that, you'll end up going from a downstroke here to an upstroke here, going from a downstroke here to an upstroke here. All the really nasty inside and outside changes, going back and forth and playing single notes on strings and stuff like that, that is just naturally really hard, as anyone who's watched Cracking the Code can attest to. So what I've done is arrange the notes into a more lateral fashion. Whenever you hop onto a new string, you stay on that string until it's time to go to the next one. There's no going back and forth between strings from like a higher string to a lower string or anything like that, like there is in the original pattern. Let's check it out. So what I'm doing here to start off is I'm playing the 6th fret on the low E string, that's the root note of B flat, and I'm just going to name off the fret numbers as I go here. I'm going to start off with 6, 5, 6, 8. After that, what I'm going to do is shift up with my little finger here to 10. Then I play A, then I play 10. So far we've had this, 6, 5, 6, 8, 10, 8, 10. Next what we're going to do is make our way onto the A string here on fret number 7. After this, what we're going to do is to play 8, 7, 8, 10, and again, here's a position shift, 12, 10, 12, then we hop onto the D string here at 8. So far, this is what we've had, starting from the E, 6, 5, 6, 8, 10, 8, 10, going to the A, 7, 8, 7, 8, 10, 12, 10, 12, going to the D here on 8. Next, what we're going to do is to play the D string 10, 8, 10, 12, and again, here's our position shift up to 14, 12, 14. After this, we go here to the G string, fret number 10. 12, 10, 12, 14, position shift to 15, 14, 15. Going to the B, 13, 15, 13, 15, 17. Then we go in here to the 18, 17, 18. And lastly, on the high E string here, we just play 15 and 17. That is a lot of notes. Once more, all together slowly. and at a moderate tempo. Now the biggest advantage for phrasing this lick this way is that it makes the picking a lot easier. Because like I said before, I'm only on one string, and then I go to another string, and then I go to another string. There's no hopping back and forth like there is in the original way to play this particular sequence. If you alternate pick this starting with the downstroke, you'll end up with down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then the string change happens. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So the important thing here to notice is that you leave each string on a downstroke. Again, the last note on every string is going to be a downstroke. Again, watch as I play through the whole thing, you'll notice that the last note I play is always a down. There it is. There it is. There. There. And so on. So you're always leaving on a downstroke. So with that in mind, and again, to quote Cracking the Code and use their terminology and stuff as I always do, because that stuff is the way, the truth, and the light, this means this is going to be an upwards pick slanting lick. Whenever we slant the pick this way and begin picking with this motion, the downstroke goes away from the strings and the upstroke goes into the body of the guitar. So that means that if I'm ending on a downstroke, that's perfect because that puts me outside of the strings. If I was trying to end on an upstroke, it'd be a real problem because my upstroke is in the body of the guitar, you know, whereas my downstroke pops out. So yeah, as you play this, try cocking that pick out that way a little bit into the upwards pick slant position, so that way your downstrokes are going away from the face of the guitar and your upstrokes are going into the face of the guitar. It'll make picking through this a lot easier. Neato! So there you go, guys, a sick lick that is guaranteed to get you chicks. Try applying that to other scales and modes and see if you can make that work. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BenEllerGuitars. Also, if you're interested in booking some one-on-one Skype lessons with me, be sure to drop me an email, BenEllerGuitars@gmail.com, and we'll talk about rates and times and stuff. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.